Okay, gang. So much good stuff has happened, just deliciousness over the last week. So I did a retreat for priestesses, and it was beautiful. I'm in Sardinia, Italy, and so I was hired to shoot boudoir photos for the ladies, but also I got to like participate in the retreat. And it was so empowering. It was so empowering. I don't know if any of you guys know like Regina, the author of the book Pussy. So it was some of her gurus, or sorry, her senseis. They're their own divine thing. But it was some teachings about just female empowerment that I just was every day blown away. Like, I told you a little bit about the trauma release, but it was just so beautiful. And the women that were in this particular container were like, I was the youngest one, and they were all business women, and they were all like very like using like very like just like sensual beings. And it helped me so much just heal like the like lack of wanting attention because it's gonna make it's dangerous, or like that's a huge one. And so, but also to realize that like the more that you're in the woman is in her just like embodiment and her feeling practice, that the more that we're magnetic. And I understand this on like a tantric level, which is almost like metaphysical to me. It's almost like just like a science, but it was very embodied. Like I was just really feeling it. And then to be in this container where all these women were just like so just encouraging and like complimentary and flirty and like, yeah, just beautiful. And it was so healing. And then two, the photo shoots, like one, I'm damn good at taking photos. Like I kind of forgot how much I love it. And I've definitely done photo shoots in the last like year, but not as many like just boudoir photo shoots. And I was doing more like ACing or like second camera like assistant. And so just to be like, no, like I'm taking charge here. But it was such a beautiful experience because it was just pulling the muse out of these women. Like, and because our bodies, like we're so self-conscious, we're so programmed. And even though they're like so powerful, they didn't all see their beauty so much. And so like, just to be like, make them feel safe and like, just, I didn't have to work too hard, but like as soon as they would feel safe, like they would just do the most beautiful poses. And it was just poetry to just watch it unfold and to try to capture it. But it's like taking a photo of the moon. Like the camera doesn't fully do it justice, but I did my best, and it's just gorgeous. And so what I'm kind of now designing is like how to figure out how to like create these retreat like containers where I can go and shoot the photo shoots, but also like if somebody wants me to be their photographer, I can like get the Airbnb and like travel, and like we could do healings. We can like invoke like Kundalini energy and do a clearing, and then like have a whole photo shoot after, and just like to have the healing and to like be able to take home like how beautiful you are. I just feel like I'm stepping into that. Also finished the container for the Kundalini training, which I mentioned. So I'm gonna start that like very, very soon. So please sign up. Like it's also delicious. And I already miss my potties, sacred spacers so much, but like the group chat is, happily alive. So there's always going to be that tool there. So definitely click the link in the bio and like add yourself to the wait list, because I still have to figure out like the best timing. And so if you could tell me what time zone you're in and like, your interest, then I can go from there. And yeah, so that's something to look forward to. What else? Just really working with creative energy right now, just muse energy. So if you also want to just like work with me to unblock your creativity, that's also there. Okay, so a really gnarly experience that was awesome. We went to this church in Sardinia. Is that yesterday? Yeah, wow, time's wild. Yesterday. And it was electric. It was like a church for Marie, and there was of course like Templar crosses and like the hidden secrets right there. And we were all walking around having a good time, and I walked into this spot And I looked up at this window, and I looked at that window like right when I first walked in, and then like did a whole lap. But from kind of the middle of the church, I looked up, and I instantly went into trance. Like, it was so captivating. It was all I could see. It was so bright. And I knew the women were like circling around, or not circling around, but they were circling around the church. But I was like, I left. I went into the light. And I saw this divine, like, giant figure, like, just like a goddess. And she was huge, and she was so bright that I like, kind of with my mind, like, asked, like, can you turn your brightness down, so I can, like, behold you. And then her face just was, like, right there in front of me. But it looked like the ocean. Like, it was, like, so bright and so beautiful, but it was, like, the sea, like, everything, like, it was movement around her. And, like, waves crashing, and, like, her curls were, like, sea foam. And there wasn't a lot of words. It was, like, downloading. And, like, I could feel that, like, my body was moving and, like, getting activated with, like, light. And it was, like, moving on this stagnation. And, like, it was both, like, electric up and like, electric down. Like, I could feel, like, things leaving me and, like, going into the earth. And just the overall feeling was, like, humbling. Like, I was very, like, oh my God, why am I even wasting time, like, worrying about, like, earthly stuff? Like, oh, I'm getting activated just thinking about it. And the girls were saying that, like, my eyes kept going back into my head. And one of them filmed it. And if you guys are interested in seeing that very vulnerable moment, please comment and I will share it. But I'm a little bit reluctant because it's freaky a bit, because, like, my spine is moving and my eyes are rolling back in my head, and I'm just standing in this church just receiving wisdom. And then I finally came out of it, and I just cried, and I had to, like, sit down and there I was kind of by, like, where you sit and pray. So I just sat there and prayed, and, like, all this water just coming out of my temple, and I just felt so, like, humble, like, of service, like one, that I needed to realize that I'm so divinely connected, like, as we all are, but just to really see it and embody it. And then it was just like, okay, what's next for me? Like, oh my God, like, this is so sacred. And, like, again, like, I want to keep traveling and I don't know how, but it also was just like, if there's a will, there's a way. But also, like, I've been so held. And maybe you guys could help me here with this and vote, but one of the ladies offered if I wait long enough to travel with her through Italy. And I kind of miss home, but I also want to keep going. And so, and she's, like, very, very embodied, like, very, like, sensual, and, like, she's, like, in her 60s, and, like, it would be a little bit of, like, a sugar mom energy, in a platonic way. And so it would be, like, a lot of me learning to receive, but it's, again, like, so unknown. And, like, there's nothing wrong with going home. And it would be a big adventure, and I think a lot, like, I would be disappointing my parents. But I would be, I think it would be, like, kind of, like, following my heart a bit more. So I don't know, but I'm getting lightheaded just thinking about the download that happened in the church. But it was, like, light codes, like, I've never experienced. I've never experienced that, like, in public. But it just was like I stood in that light and left. Like, it was just like, phew. And so I guess I'm also a little bit nervous too, because it was like, is that gonna happen all the time? Because it was like, it was wild. And then it was just like an activation, like a Kundalini activation, like. And then today, like, I got to my Airbnb today, and I, like, laid down, and then, like, my throat opened and activated, and, like, I just had all these frequencies and, like, pitches and, like, songs and, like, light language, like, come through. And that is, like, I used to call it, like, speaking in tongues, but I would sometimes pray, and then, like, this language would just come out, and felt so foreign. Like, it almost makes me want to cry, like, just that I'm even saying it out loud, because it was something that I was so, like, almost freaked out by and, like, almost embarrassed by. Like, what is this? Or is it nonsense? Is it made up? But, like, the sounds were also so beautiful, and, like, I was like, this is not even me making these sounds, but, like, it is. And so part of me wants to like record it and like just see what comes through. Like if I just started like singing and like opening those frequencies. And like if I did, like would it heal people? Or would it just be nice to like let it out and just to sound pretty? But like, because I've had experiences with other people like who are speaking just like pitches and tones and even on YouTube, and like I always thought like I wouldn't ever be like that open or like that like good enough. But like it was so strong, and I kind of think that that church activation was an activation of that, like having this ocean woman like come through and like move energy, because like so much of it was like throat blocking. And so like maybe that's like the next direction is like with singing as well as like vocal toning. But I think I'm also terrified of that at the same time, because it's like everything I do, like poems and everything, I always imagine them as songs. I always have this like little girl dream of like touring the world with like you know, I always wanted to be a lover, but like even though I would play Barbies, like my sister would play Barbies and they would be family, and I would always play Barbies and it was like a couple and they would travel and they were like musicians. And I think that's like my like almost too embarrassed to admit that that's like my dream. But I wonder too if it's supposed to be like a highly spiritual state where it's like I get to travel like in like where I'm channeling sound vibration, because it works with the Kundalini, it works with all the things, but I don't know how to feel about it yet. I'm just digesting it now because it felt very strong yesterday. But and we'll see how it forms. But anyways, this afternoon I have off, so I'm gonna go explore Sardinia a bit and see what comes through in that regard. Just be a little bit of a tourist. So to conclude, sign up for the next 8, I think I'm gonna make it 9 weeks, because I made this last one 8 weeks and everyone wants to meet up again one more time. So I think we're gonna do 9-week sessions to study Kundalini, and another container for studying the Divine Feminine and the Mary Magdalene and the secrets. Museship, so working with me one-on-one to unlock your creativity, working with me one-on-one to do a healing and a breath work to move energy as well, and then help me decide if I should keep traveling. And then also, are we interested in just hearing like songs and like vocal toning and like frequencies? So it wouldn't be lyrics as much, it would be like just pitches. So those are the things I'm wondering about. So all my best. We shall talk whenever we talk next. Ciao.